Hey everybody, it's James Silvis, founder of Be That 1%, and we got a treat here for you today. For those of you who are just joining us for the first time, this is Be That 1%, and if it's your first time hearing that, let me give you a little background on what that is. Be That 1% is a brand that was created for individuals who think different. People who have decided to do what 99% of the people won't do, and that's embrace who they are, embrace their strengths, their weaknesses, all of them. Own their story, own their life, and make an impact on the community. And that's what this man has done. I've had the pleasure of knowing him for about, 3-4 years now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And so his name is Perdue. He is, well, one of many things, but he's a certified nutritionist. He's a trainer to internationally to celebrities and Fortune 500 companies. And that's just a start. When you really get to know Derek, you really find that his heart is huge, his passion is strong, and just being around him makes you feel better. So I'm excited to get some knowledge from you and expand on some topics and share it with our audience here.
That's awesome. I look forward to it.
Yeah, so thanks for being a part of it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know you, give us a little story on like how you started, your background a little bit, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, so as an entrepreneur, I started when I was 15.
Mm-hmm.
I was mowing my neighbor's grass. And how that kind of came about was I was working at a restaurant, and I was making $4.75 an hour with no breaks and no tips. So I had found that I basically could make in 2 hours what I made in 2 weeks. And that's what started my entrepreneur I guess kick from there. I took it from there. I took it all the way through college. I ended up opening up multiple Subway stores from there. And now I'm actually doing my passion, something that I love. Not that I didn't love what I did before, starting the landscape company, starting the Subway stores, but this is something that I wake up and I cannot wait for the next day to do. I've always been an athlete, so it's taken a few years for me to kind of come to this, but now I'm here, and this is what I do every day, and I see myself doing this from here on.
Awesome.
Yes.
And you are the owner of Fit Infinity,
That's
correct?
correct.
And you were just explaining what your logo means, so if you want to explain that to them a little bit, that would be awesome.
Yeah, so it started out when I was playing hockey or racing motocross.
Okay.
My favorite number was number 8. Okay, always.
Always.
But I've also liked the symbol turned to the side, meaning infinity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And beyond.
Right.
So my thought behind that was, there is no limit to really anything.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did is I took my name, Derek Perdue, DP, and I kind of combined it together. You'll see a green and kind of like a watermelon color. So that represents the guy and the girl. And there's some lines in between the D and the P.
Right.
That's kind of like the connection between the guy and the girl, right? And that's how I created my
cool.
kind of like logo.
Yeah.
And I thought it was cool, and I did a survey on it, and everybody came back with like raving numbers on that's the one that you should do. So I stuck with it from there.
That's awesome. That reminds me of like when I created Be That 1%, just like the vision you have in your head, you're like, okay, let's make it like this, and then once you hit that special look, you're just like, oh, there it is.
You just know it, right?
You just know.
And then you put it on a shirt or a hat, and you're like, that's it.
Right, and then when you wear it, it's like totally different than any other piece of clothing that you have.
It's very different.
Yeah.
Even on my off days, I'm still wearing my stuff.
Right.
I'm proud of it, of course, but I feel empowered.
Yeah.
Like wearing it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not even like about your name, it's just about the meaning.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. I feel powerful when I wear it.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, tell us about a moment where you went through like a painful moment, or you was so unexpected and you're like, wow, and it was really painful, or you didn't know how to get through it, and then how did you switch your psychology to ultimately overcome it?
Yeah, great question. I'm in my mid-30s now.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna go back probably about a decade, 10 years ago. I was mid-20s. And I was doing very well in landscaping. And I was at the point where I was taking on very, very large accounts, but just below the biggest accounts in Michigan, where I'm from.
Sure.
Okay, I needed like a little bit of oomph to get to that top level, meaning more capital, more equipment. And I had a guy that wanted to be a part of the company. So we had made an agreement where he would come in to help me get that oomph. And then once I got that oomph, I would kind of pay him back and all would be well, and I would move on, you know, by myself, and he would do his own thing.
Sure.
The problem is that he kind of got his claws into me a little bit too thick. Things were going really, really well. I got to that top level, and he got a piece of that as well, and he felt the power that that kind of created, and he didn't want to let go. So, make a long story short, I ended up, if you will, getting into business with somebody that I should have never gotten into business with. And I did it due to my want to be the biggest and the best in my industry.
Sure.
Well, I learned a really, really tough lesson. Basically lost half of my company, pretty much, that I had built for 10 years.
Jeez.
And I felt very suppressed, extremely suppressed, to the point where he was kind of taking all of my powers away. It's hard to explain, but I almost felt super empty. I had no purpose anymore. That was probably the hardest time. No, that was the hardest time in my life in general and in business. I had to dig so deep to find myself again and come out of that somehow. And not very many people know this, but
I appreciate it.
yeah, it was an extremely emotional period for me of time, and I was looking for answers. I didn't know how to come out of it. I really didn't. So I looked at myself, pretty much,
Yeah.
and I said, what can I do? I either give in, I run, I avoid this situation, or I attack it. And something inside of me said attack. So I did, and I basically handled the situation without going into great details.
Sure.
I handled it, and I came out of it with a lot of self-knowledge about myself and in business. It was the hardest time though ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even begin to explain. It took me out physically, mentally, emotionally. But boy, I want to say I regret it, but I don't.
Yeah.
Because coming out of it, I feel, or I should say, I felt stronger than I ever had. And it took me probably 3 years of hard struggling. I mean, I was like rock bottom. Sometimes when people look at my story, they think it's been all like highs. Believe me, it wasn't.
Yeah.
I had the lowest of lows, and coming out of that is probably the hardest thing ever, but the most gratifying thing ever as well.
Yeah. It's amazing how, because sometimes things happen in your life and some people rebound quicker than others, but to have a 3-year time frame,
Yeah.
that's a lot of searching. And
It's a lot.
I'm sure it was a lot of finding too. Common theme that I see with a lot of successful people is that their most painful moments was their biggest teachers, and it just shapes their soul into this powerful purpose.
Yeah.
And that's what it sounds like with this video.
It was. I had to make a decision. I could either play victim or be a victim
Yes.
in this situation. Or I could come out of this with flying colors, meaning I was such a better person in general from the experience that I learned. On top of that, what I love most about it is this. It's not about me, it's about what I can help others with now.
Right.
I'm mid-30s, but I feel like I've been through experiences of like what a 75-year-old would be through, if that makes any sense.
Totally.
You know what I mean? So I love that idea to where I can kind of help others maybe see ahead, where I didn't have that. I literally went through that crazy struggle for a very long time for a reason. But if I can help others maybe foresee things that I didn't, that's a good feeling.
When you got into business with that man, what, now knowing that how that turned out,
Yeah.
what are you going to pay attention now towards the future if opportunities that's the same arises again?
For me,
Yeah,
it's always about now
yeah,
creating space and who's in my space around me, who's in my environment. I wasn't prepared. I didn't have the tools to see what he was about and what his true intentions were. So now I can better spot people and where they're at.
got it.
And when doing that, I know who I want to be involved with, who's super uptone, who's on my level, who has really good intentions, and who doesn't. That is big.
Yeah.
That's big. You have to know who you're getting involved with. And yeah.
So is it more of like a research what they've done in their past, more intuitive process, just, you know, but judging by actions, you wait a certain amount of time? Like what is your main force, I guess, main strategy?
Everybody is chronically at a certain tone level,
Okay.
right?
Right.
So when I meet you, you're cheerful. You're a very uptone guy.
Right.
And I can sense your ableness. And one of the biggest things that I look for is the person's ability to help. That says a lot. How much can you help? And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to help 3 million people, but somebody that is very high toned, they can help. They can help anybody at any time. At least they can give the effort to help.
Right.
When somebody is lower toned, maybe they're very antagonistic or very angry in life, they have no ability to help. So it's going to be very difficult for me to do business with somebody like that per se. Let's say in this situation, and I won't involve myself with somebody at that point. It's a very real thing. So I try to see where they're at on this scale of tones, I guess, is what you would call it.
Sure.
And based on that is how I'm going to direct myself.
It also sounds like you're looking for self-awareness in the other person too. Someone who's gone through a lot of self-development, a lot of self-reflection, a lot of course correcting, and someone who's very in tune with how they're feeling before they interact with anybody else.
It totally is.
Yeah.
You can sense somebody's energy, even if you're not trained in how to find the levels. You can sense somebody's energy, like fully. So yeah, absolutely on that level.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
What is your perception on fear and or failure?
The first thing that I think about, I guess, let's talk about failure.
Sure.
Is a failed purpose. So when somebody fails at something, it doesn't matter what it is, they can become fearful of that, whatever it may be. Let's say somebody rides their horse, okay, and they're barrel racing. Say they fall off their horse and they get hurt. Okay, that person has a decision, all right, they failed. Now they have a fear of being kicked off of that horse because they got hurt. So my perception is you can either rekindle that failed purpose and get back on that and conquer that fear, or you don't, and you don't ever get back on that horse again. I think another point that I'd like to make on that is that if somebody does fail at something, I think it's more of a failure. It's not that you failed at that purpose, it's the failure of doing the purpose until you win at it.
Right.
Like, it created fear to the point that you don't even want to do it anymore. But I think the failure is really not going back to go do it. It's not that you failed the first 20 times you fell off that horse. It's giving in.
Right.
It's not going back. Because that 21st time, you could probably conquer it and not fail.
Right. And if your purpose is clear and strong and present, quitting isn't even in your thought process.
It's not. I don't Personally,
Yeah.
I'm not fearful. I don't really care about failure. I've failed more times than I've succeeded. Believe me, I've failed way more, and I can admit that. I'll own that. But I feel like a winner because I won't stop until I conquer my failures. I won't. So at the end of the day, I win. Right? I'm not going to allow myself to just fail and fail and fail and fail. I mean, that's fine, but I'm going to learn every single time, and then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to win that eventually. Even if it's the 1000th time that I have to do it, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to win.
Yeah. I always love that story of Thomas Edison and the light bulb.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
I can just imagine working for him. Like, Thomas, like, come on, man, like, how many times have we failed at this thing? He's like, they're not failures. We just found other ways not to make the light bulb. And it's just,
that's right.
His purpose was so strong that failure wasn't even in his vocabulary. Like, it didn't even resonate with him.
It's not there.
Yeah.
It's not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess I don't look at it. I look at it the same in a certain aspect.
That's cool.
Because it's not there.
Yeah.
It's not. You have to move beyond that fear. You know? It's like riding your bike down a sidewalk. Okay? Think about this for a second. And you're riding your bike down the sidewalk, and there's a big crack in the sidewalk. You go over that crack, and you fall, and you hurt yourself really bad. All right. So reactively, the next time that you get up, right, and you're going down that same sidewalk, your mind tells you to go around that sidewalk. The last time you went down that sidewalk, you got hurt. Go around it. That's what fear tells you. The analytical part of your brain tells you you can go over that crack. It does not mean that you're going to fall again. So meaning this, A does not equal A does not equal A. It doesn't mean that every time you go over that crack, you're going to fall.
Right.
So break through that fear, go over that crack.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Totally. I think it's important to understand too that it's almost a brain survival mechanism. That once you experience pain, it's like, we cannot do that again. We either, our life's at stake, or if we're going to get severely injured. And most times, our brain errs on the side of caution and produces more fear for something that shouldn't necessarily be fearful. And then we end up listening more to the emotion than to the logic, and that's what controls and paralyzes our actions in moving forward.
You're 1000% correct, in my opinion.
Sure.
And that's exactly what happens in life with fear and failure. Somebody, like the sidewalk, or it doesn't matter. It could be in business. It could be in a relationship. It could be dealing with anything. You're completely right. That painful emotion, or let's say it was a physical pain, whatever it is, that part of the brain tells you, don't do it. Don't do that. But that restricts you.
Right.
It restricts you from doing lots and lots of things. So you have to think more analytically and just know that A does not equal A does not equal A.
There you go.
Okay? So
that's not the formula for success.
That's not the formula, okay? So just get up and go do it again.
There you go. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, let's see. What are some of your morning rituals, or do you have any morning habits that kind of set your tone for the day, get you in the right mind space?
Yeah. Okay, so I've had this one for a while. It's very simple. I don't have to go into deep detail on this one because it's simple. I literally wake up and I tell myself, this is going to be a crazy good day. I'm going to have just a badass day. And anybody that I come into contact with, I'm going to flow that energy to them, and they are going to have a great day. Simple. Other than I eat the same breakfast that I've been eating for the past 15 years.
What is your breakfast?
That's about it. The only thing I switch up is between grits and oatmeal.
Okay.
But I always have grits or oatmeal.
Yeah.
And I usually have 6 eggs.
Okay.
And then
all whole eggs.
Yeah, I have whole eggs in the morning, and then 2 pieces of turkey bacon. And 2 nun tablets with my water. Those are like mineral tablets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what I've been eating for the past, I couldn't tell you how long. Like seriously, probably 15 years, I think. Seriously?
15 years, same breakfast.
So that's my ritual.
All right.
Right? So I tell myself that I eat the same breakfast.
So you stand up, you look in the mirror, like do you write it down? You just say it in your head? Like
right when I wake up, I say it in my head and I put that out there.
Okay.
I put it in the universe.
Close your eyes and just send it out.
I do. Right when I wake up, I just do it every morning. I suppose when I brush my teeth, I foresee like my day.
Yeah.
And I try to like picture, okay, here's how this is gonna go. I think about my clients and who I'm gonna be in contact with, and I think about how I'm gonna make that amazing for them.
Yeah.
And they're gonna walk away feeling like the best they've ever felt.
Right. I think a lot of people who hear, when you say envision your day, it can be very vague for a lot of people because they don't really either understand the importance of it, or maybe they do and it's just, I've never done it, so how do you do it? And it's as simple as close to happen.
Yeah.
And then there's tons of research, tons of studies that show that your mind does not know the difference between something that you vividly imagine and something that's actually in reality.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is you're using your higher faculties in your head, in your brain, and you're saying you're projecting something into the future and almost bringing it back into the now and then living it as if it's just going to happen.
That's pretty much exactly, I guess I never thought of it like that, but it's pretty much what I do.
Yeah.
That's a very good way to explain it. Yeah, I essentially am putting it in the universe, if you will.
Right.
And, there's going to be things that come up.
Totally.
But I'm going to handle those things along the way. And more times than not, as I planned out the day, it happens that way.
Yeah.
For the most part. Like I said, if I run out of gas or I blow a tire out or whatever, okay, those things are going to happen. They're going to come in, but I handle that situation and I continue on with my goal.
Yeah. That's huge. Do people come up to you and ask you, how are you so positive, or why are you so mentally strong? Do you have bad days? Because I know I get bad ass all the time.
Okay, so I get this question asked a lot.
Yes.
Now that you bring it up.
Right.
I'll tell you a story. So one day, this guy came up to me in the gym, and he's watched me for a long time. Like, you know what I mean? And I've never really spoke to this guy very much, to be honest with you. He does his thing and I do mine, and and this is while I'm working. I'm with clients, and he's actually training on his own. Okay, to kind of set up the scenario. He comes up to me one day and he says, "I watched you for a long time, and I got one question for you." I said, "Ask me anything." All right, and he says, "How are you so happy every day?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There it is.
And I said, I'm doing something that I love every single day. He said, "So you love being a trainer?" And I said, "No." I said, "Yes, I do, but that's not my main thing." He said, "Well, what is it?" I said, "I love to help people." And I could tell he was remember we were talking about?
Yeah.
So he was a little bit lower, and that's okay. That's cool. But my thought was this, is my initial thought, it's just a natural instinct, I want to bring him up.
Yes.
Immediately. So he said, "Oh, wow." He said, "Really?" And I said, "Yes, I love to help people." And I just basically said to him, I said, "If you ever need anything, you know where to find me. I'm here every single day." And when I left him, or he left me, he was like, "Wow."
I feel better.
He almost like took a step back, like somebody wants to help me. And it just took that little bit. That for me means everything. It means everything. From there on, I felt like the guy was a little bit happier. And every time I saw him, he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" It was really cool.
Yeah.
But I do get asked that a lot. Yesterday, actually, as a matter of fact, I had a girl ask me, "Do you eat a lot during your day?" And I thought this was going to be a nutritional question, right? And she's a client of mine, a newer client, I should say. And I said, "Well, as a matter of fact, I eat a lot." She's like, "Is that because you have a lot of energy?" And I said, "Well," I think the food has something to do with it, but there's probably a little bit more to it." And she's like, "Okay, because you always are like really," and this is one of my clients training at the end of the day, probably like 7 p.m.
Right.
And I've already had 10 clients for the day. She's like my 11th. So she's like, "I know you've been here all day. How are you still,
Yeah.
I love what I do.
It's
Well,
true.
I mean, it's what it is.
That happens to me after my events where I'll speak for 5 hours
Yeah.
nonstop. And
Yeah.
afterwards, I literally feel like I've just drank 3 cups of coffee. I'm just like, and sometimes even at night, it's hard for me to fall asleep. Just 'cause it's like, it's invigorating
Mm-hmm.
and it's addicting.
It is.
And
It really
people
is.
always ask me too, they're like, why are you so happy?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, why not?
Yeah.
I'm not as productive if I'm not happy
Yeah.
than when I am. And plus, my energy when I walk into a room fills the room.
Mhm.
I don't want to be the one that walks in and sucks the energy out,
Yeah.
because we all know those people.
I agree.
You know, if in the world, especially nowadays, because of how accessible all media is and all the things that the news is trying to shove down your throat, we need people to rise, and we need them to feel, to see light and feel energized, and we need more.
I agree.
Yeah, so I thank you for being like that.
Absolutely. Likewise.
Yeah,
Likewise.
it's awesome.
I can appreciate
It's
that.
good stuff. You meditate?
You know, I guess you'd have to define meditate.
So the way that I would define meditation is, there's a lot of different forms, a lot of different practices, but as far as sitting down in quiet, eyes closed, and either watching the thoughts that pass, or focusing on one sound or one mantra or one noise, and just relaxing for 15 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it's always been sort of music,
Got it.
but it's a very calming music.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say there's a particular time of day that I do that, but there's definitely periods where I'll take 20 to 30 minutes, I close my eyes, I put this music on, and it's like a zen for me in a way. And like I said, that's why meditate, to some people, they have a different reality on what maybe that means. For me, it's calming all of my energies, mentally, physically, emotionally. Almost allowing my beingness to be on the outside of my body. I hope that's not too much for some, but I do. I try to let it kind of like separate my being from the body. I know that sounds kind of...
No, I'm with you.
And when I come back to the body, if you will, that's almost like a recharge for me, internally, personally. So absolutely, I do that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you?
I meditate. Amanda and I just started a 100-day challenge. We're on day 75 now.
Wow.
Yeah. One of the challenges was to meditate for an hour each day. An hour.
Wow.
Not easy. I remember the first day, I'm like, I gotta meditate for how long? And normally I would do 15 to 20 minutes, but my problem with that is, like, in your head, you kind of have this mental countdown. So you're never truly meditating because there's always a timer going on. When you get past what I think 30 minutes, you kind of give up counting because that's just too long. So then after the 15, 20 minutes of walking through the mud and getting through all the noise, you enter this like peaceful, zen-like space.
Wow.
Where you have very minimal thought, if any, no thought. And I've only had no thought twice, not even like in the last 4 years. It's very rare, but I'll have minimized thought, which is just as nice.
That's powerful.
Yeah, and so it's just literally focusing on the breath, and you're aware of every part of your body. This is how it is for me.
Yeah.
And you wake up so rejuvenated. Sometimes I fall asleep, which is, well, you're just taking a nap. But it's different because you're just so relaxed in the moment.
Yeah.
And then when you wake up, you're like, it's like taking an ice bath.
Yeah.
But with your mind.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, with you and Amanda, after the 100 days are completed, will you continue?
Continue, 100%.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I might have to pick your brain some more on that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
It was different, and it was hard to do.
Yeah.
And that's why Amanda and I chose to do it. We like challenges, and we like to see what else we can do. And that was by far something way out of our comfort zone.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I like it.
Awesome experience.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Yeah, it was good. It was
Very
good. How much time do you spend a week dedicated just to you and maybe personal growth or self-reflection or anything like that?
Yeah. So here would be the breakdown. 7/10 of my life is work. 3/10 is personal.
Okay.
Back in the day, 10/10 was work. 0 of 0 was for myself. Over time, I've learned that that balance is not healthy, it's not appropriate. And for me, I just had so much ambition towards my purposes and goals that I was willing to sacrifice pretty much myself to my work. But now, I have a goal, and my goal is to get to a certain place by 45,
Yes.
right? And I've, over time, felt like 7/10 of everybody's life is basically dedicated to work. And for me, or anybody else can do whatever they want with the other 3/10, but for me, it's for myself personally. Whether that be through my personal development on a mental, spiritual, emotional state, or whether that be through hanging out with my friends, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that's how I kind of break it down.
Cool. What's something that's unique to you that maybe at first you saw as a weakness or something that you didn't want, and now maybe it's a strength and it separates you from everybody else?
So it once was a weakness, is what you're saying?
It could be. Just something unique that maybe not everybody has that is just kind of, unique to you.
I try to never evaluate or invalidate, I should say, somebody's situation.
Sure.
All right? And it's very easy for somebody to go through life and put judgment on somebody that is going through something. Okay? You never know really what that is, okay?
Right.
I believe you don't have a reality with that person and what they're going through unless you really communicate with them and really understand it. So I see it a lot in real time, in our present time, where people will place a judgment on somebody or invalidate them for whatever they're doing. I try to not do that. I try to not invalidate what they're doing, okay? Unless it's, somebody's like, well, I want to murder somebody. Okay, that is on a different level.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, if a person wants to be an ultimate chess champion, okay, even though I have no reality on that, I like chess, but it's not for me to be a champion. I would never invalidate what they want. I would try to embrace that for them even, encourage them. So some people that don't agree with things, they will shoot it right down, right? Somebody may think that's the dumbest thing ever. Why would you want to be a chess champion? I'm just using an example, right? Hypothetical. So for me, it's not my place to evaluate what is real for him, right? If you're into Legos, you love Legos, okay? And you're out of your, you're not 7 years old anymore.
Right.
Who am I? Who am I to evaluate or invalidate you for playing with Legos? I think that's big.
Yeah.
I really do, because I found that when you're open, you exude that, and you can open the communication lines to whoever you're communicating with, and they will communicate with you about anything.
Totally.
But the minute you invalidate them about their communication to you,
Judge them,
or invalidate their thoughts, their ideas, they're not going to open up, they're not going to communicate with you anymore. And I love communication.
Right.
I need to communicate with people. I want to know. I want to know what's going on. And it comes down to this again, once again, tell me what's going on so maybe I can help.
Yeah.
But if you don't tell me anything, I can't help you.
So that sounds like empathy at its finest.
Yeah.
And also, I think a lot of people extend judgments or invalidate somebody because they need to feel superior. And
100%.
I forget where I heard this, but there's two ways to have the tallest building in the land. One is to build the tallest building, the other is to cut someone else's down.
Yes.
So
I like that. I like that analogy.
Yeah, obviously, the latter is the easiest, and that's what most people settle for. But the people who actually choose to build the highest building can then help other people rise. Yep. And if you're trying it the other way and it's superficial, people feel that, and they know when something's genuine and when it's not. So you can't fake it.
You can't.
But yeah.
You can't.
Right.
And like I said, I think that whatever somebody is wanting to do,
right,
or I never want to be, they have an intention to do something. I never want to be a counter intention. Oh, that's dumb. Why would you want to do that? You want to be a chess player? Like, that's not gonna make you any money. That's not gonna get you any girls. That's just dumb. I never want to be that counter intention. I never want to cut the building in half. If he wants to be or she wants to be a chess champion, well, what can I do to help you? To be a chess champion. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I guess that's my mentality on things.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it doesn't make a difference what you want to do.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
So that kind of falls into the next question: is there like a guiding philosophy or a theme or a mantra or something that's always present in the back of your head that has allowed you to get to where you are?
Man, I
I'm sure
think
there's a lot.
yeah, I think there's a lot to that question.
Yeah, there is.
I think a big part is not evaluating, not invalidating. I also think that I'm going to bring up the point of me being causative in my environment rather than the effect. I'll go into that.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
So you have a stream, okay,
Okay,
in the woods.
got it.
And that stream is the cause. And the effect of that stream is a big river way, way down. Okay? I want to be the stream. I want to be causative. I don't want to be the effect. And I'll give you my experience that I spoke about earlier with the guy that I was in business with.
Right.
I completely became at the effect of him. He did this, I had to move like this. I was not causative. So I want to be causative in my space and in my environment. Kind of like I said, who I want in my environment, I'm being causative about who I let in my environment. Therefore, I'm not the effect of somebody that is maybe counter intentions towards me. Does that make sense?
Yes, and surrounding yourself with other causative people,
100%.
in essence, other streams, which all come to the effect of this massive impact.
Absolutely. That's what it is.
Got it.
So I love other causative people,
Sure.
right? Because more times than not, somebody that is really causative has positive intentions with whatever they're doing. It doesn't make a difference. But when you become the effect of something, you're at the effect. It's whatever is going on,
You're not a creator.
you're not controlling your environment.
Sure.
So I think that's huge for me. Cause and effect. I like to be causative.
That's cool.
Yes.
I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. What is a book, a movie, or a video that has changed your whole perspective on life?
Oh man. I read a book once. This is a long time ago.
Yeah.
All right. And forgive me, I don't know if it dealt with integrity
Okay.
and values. This may sound kind of crazy, but I'm going to explain it.
We're all crazy.
Okay.
It's okay.
I think we are.
We are.
A little bit in our own little way, right?
No.
Okay, so what this kind of dealt with was in life we can do things maybe against others that we maybe meant to do or maybe not meant to do, okay? And I'll give you an example. Let's say I say, James, I want to borrow your car. I need to go to the grocery store. So you say, sure, yeah, you can have my car. I take your car, I drive up to the grocery store, and I'm pulling up, and all of a sudden I hit something, right? I ran into a cart, right? And I was like, oh my gosh. And right in the front there's like a little nick. It's small, but it's, you know what I mean? I know it's there.
Right.
I get my groceries, I come back, I give you the keys, and I don't say anything to you about it. All right? I have now something against you, and I'm withholding it, and I'm not going to tell you about it. Okay? this could go into huge realms of things. You
Sure.
know, it could be a man or a woman cheating on his spouse or whatever the case may be, and them not telling that. All of these things add up. And at the end of the day, because I did that to your car, and I withheld that from you, telling you, over time, I have now created resentment towards you because of what I did against you, and I didn't tell you about it. Right?
Right. So integrity
And
would have
huge
not
values.
allowed you to feel it. Yeah.
I would have came back. And not that, I mean, have I committed things like that before? I mean, yeah, I think everybody has.
Sure.
Right?
Right.
But I actually learned what the impact was. So, okay, the other day, I went to Sam's Club. Got some socks. All right, and the socks were on the bottom of the cart,
Mm-hmm.
and I had put paper towel or toilet paper, I can't remember which one, but it was on top of the socks. They went through, they rang everything up. I went out to the car, and I was unloading everything, and I was like, they didn't charge for the socks. So you have a choice. The person can either, it's Sam's Club. You can justify it all you want. It's a huge company. These socks are $5. I'm just, you know what I mean?
Right. I did some good deeds the other day. I deserve this.
You can justify it any way you want. But you have a choice to either head off with those socks that you didn't pay for, and you know you didn't pay for it, or you can take those socks back in there and do the right thing. I don't know how many people out there would do the latter, right? Meaning not take it in there.
Sure.
I know it seems small, but it adds up. It's huge. It's huge. So of course, the right answer is to do the right thing, take the socks back in.
Got it.
Right? Yeah, so that's what this book was about.
Remember the title?
I'll have to get back to you on that. This is a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I just remember the impact of when I read it, I was like, whoa, this is huge. Now, once you get those things off, now once I come to you and I say, James, I gotta talk to you about something, man, I gotta come clean. When I went to the grocery store on Saturday, when you gave me the car at 4 p.m., dude, I hit the front of the car, man, I messed it up, you know, and I'm sorry about that. I wanna make it right. How can I do that? You know, and I make it right by you. It blows. That resentment, everything will blow.
Right.
It's a key thing that I think a lot of people, they don't even recognize or realize that it's going on. They will become very resentful against their partners or against their friends.
Themselves.
Yep, and they will blame their partner. They're doing this, they're being such, hold on, look at yourself first. Look at yourself. Think about anything and everything that you did against that person. Write the time, the place, and the event down of exactly what happened, and watch how you feel. And I do recommend, obviously, telling the person of whom you may have committed something against. It's the best case scenario. You'll feel so much better. And more times than not, that person, you're going to be like, oh, dude, you know, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not going to kill me for it.
Right.
I'm going to try to make it right. You know?
Yeah.
So, that may be a little bit deep there.
No, it sounds like also that when you have those little things that add up to big things, you end up projecting that onto other people and assume that other people would do what you do.
100%.
And that may not be the case. So then you end up making people who aren't that way because your belief about them is what they'll end up being back to you.
That's exactly it. I missed that point about it, but
Yeah. No.
bro, you're aware. We are tracking right now,
Yeah.
and I love that. We could probably talk all night.
Totally.
Because you're right there with me. But that's exactly it, though.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Did I explain it okay? I hope everybody.
No, I think we got it.
I hope they're okay. I hope they're getting it. I don't want to leave anybody in confusion.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Cool.
One more question here is,
Yes.
What does Be That 1% mean to you?
I think it's learn and understand yourself more than anything. And then take your potential to its highest peak. And whether you're the 1% in somebody else's eyes, that's one thing. but be the 1% within yourself and for yourself. When you know that, you're powerful. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what makes you powerful is the ability to not be shaken.
Mhm.
Like you plant your roots in your identity,
Yeah.
and you don't blow in the wind like a tumbleweed
Yeah.
because of everyone else's perception of you. You're just, that doesn't matter. It's so firm in you
Mhm.
that it changes the perceptions of others.
In order to be that stableness, you're
Right.
stuck.
Yeah.
Would you agree? You gotta know yourself, right?
Socrates, know thyself.
You have to. I know that's kind of vague. I know that's kind of
Yeah.
like a broad statement. Let me ask you.
Yeah.
What do you think are some of the things that have taught you to be yourself?
Things that have taught me about being myself was I ask a lot of feedback.
Okay.
I ask a lot of people, what do you get from me when you're around me?
Yeah.
And
You survey.
yes,
Okay.
because I'm never assuming that what I believe to be good, even though I know it's good, I want to make sure that it still has the same impact that when I talk to somebody. So I'll say, hey, what did you get from what I just said? Or what do you feel when you're around me? And most people will say, I feel really empowered, I feel really upbeat. Okay, I check in, I'm like, that's what I wanted it to be like, perfect, then I learn the skill. It's like a reinforcement of what I believed was right.
Wow.
So that's one way.
Okay.
I'm a super self-reflective person. I will sit for hours and write anything and everything. I'll write ideas, I'll write ways of describing myself, I'll write fears, I'll write goals, I'll plan, I'll do a lot of things in my own time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to, I don't want someone to ever ask me, James, who are you, and me not know the answer.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And I think I've spent my whole adult life, from 21 to now, on that one question.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you? That is my favorite question to ask people.
What do you think the barrier is for somebody that can't answer that? Why don't they know who they are?
I think there's a lot of distraction. There's not a lot of clarity. There's if someone doesn't know who they are, and it's almost like, let me see. First, you have to take time to ask yourself the question.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think a lot of people give priority to things that they shouldn't be. Oh, hey, we're going out tonight, come with us. All right, that's time that you could have spent answering that question. Well, my kids, they need to be taken here and do that and do that. My significant other needs this. And so we end up giving more to other people before we end up giving to ourselves. So first and foremost, I think you got to give yourself the time. Like, block out 30 minutes, undistracted, no phone, piece of paper, put on your favorite song, whatever, and just write the question. And then write what comes to mind and don't judge the answer. And that's how you start. I think a lot of people, when asked that question, they feel like they need to say the right thing instead of saying something.
Okay, I agree.
So then they just say, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
which is the cop-out. You do know, but maybe you're afraid to say it.
That's huge.
Right.
Let me raise a point.
Sure.
I'm
Yeah,
curious
of
to
course.
see what
Yeah,
you would think.
absolutely.
Okay, so, all right, and there's things that you know about yourself here,
Yeah.
and here, here, and here. What do you think about people that can't confront, they can't pull these things that they honestly really know,
Mm-hmm.
but they can't face them? They cannot look at them head on. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that as far as this is concerned?
Well, my clients and the people that I work with, some of them don't want to see it because
Mhm.
it's painful.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason why they don't want to see it.
Okay.
But what I like to do is I like to grab it
Yeah.
and I like to hold it in front of them over what they want.
It's perfect.
Yeah. So you want this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in order to get that,
Mhm.
you have to go through this.
Yeah.
Do you still want it?
Mhm.
And most people will say, oh, Well, it can't be like that. If you really wanted it, then this wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
You would understand the pain, you'd understand the goal and the obstacle and the path.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's going to make you the person that you need to be to get there.
100%.
So I like to hold the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
I like to hold it for myself, which is not easy to do.
No.
I like to hold it for other people.
Yeah.
And I like to let them sit in the discomfort until it's unbearable. And one of two things happens when it's unbearable. Either you get off and you say, you know what, this coaching stuff isn't for me. Or you say, you know what, I realize that I have to break through, and then they do. Most times, if they're very clear on the destination and they have a strong purpose, they end up getting through. But there have been times where people are like, you know what, this just isn't for me. And then they're just not ready.
So they blow.
So they blow.
Would you agree that most can or can't
I believe
confront?
Can confront.
Yeah, would you agree? It's
Yeah,
general. It's
sure.
a general question, but would
Right.
you agree that most can or cannot confront?
I believe most can.
Would you agree that most want or do not want to confront?
Kind of want.
Okay. You're in the middle on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they deep down there's a desire, but once they see what they have to do to get there,
Yeah.
ooh,
Oh, I see.
yeah. But it's there. It's innate.
Mhm.
Like it's innate in all of us to want to grow and to want to be better and to be the vision that we see for ourselves.
Yeah.
And then here comes the right cross to the face. Oh, that hurts.
Right.
I know.
Yeah.
But you just got to keep going.
But that's the growth,
Yes.
right?
Right.
When the person can and really wants to confront things about themselves, that's really where the growth starts. Would you agree? This is what I found. That's why I'm asking you the question.
Yeah. It's like when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Mm-hmm.
Like it has to be a decision on the grower's end.
Mm-hmm.
Once you decide to grow, then the people come, then the experience comes. It's like I've heard the burn the boats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the exact same thing. It's
Yeah.
like if you want to take the island, you got to burn the boats. You can't be in the boats and then go take the island because this is still plan B.
Yes.
Like you have to fully commit.
Like 2 feet in.
Right.
Okay. Not 1 foot in, 1 foot out. type
Not
thing.
dabbing the toe.
Like wishy-washy.
Yeah. Ooh,
Yeah. So,
exactly.
yeah, in my opinion, if you're not, you could be 75% in, but to me it's 0. You have to be 100.
Exactly.
You got to be both feet in, right?
Right. It's like someone who says, "I'll try it." There's no try.
It's not like that though.
No.
You're kind of
Yeah. Could just say you'll do it.
You're
regardless.
dabbling.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So we're on the same lines.
We're there, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad that we're getting here and that they're a part of that because that's one thing I tell people to get out of their vocabularies and get rid of that word. Get rid of try. Get rid of I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of should.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of can't.
Yep.
And get rid of but.
So it's intention. Just put full intention.
Just yeah.
Full intention, no matter what it is.
All in.
Okay, I love it.
All in.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. Is there any last bit of advice that you want to give the viewer and maybe something, one golden little piece of wisdom?
Yeah. I think maybe touch back on the cause and effect. I think that if you can really think about that and be causative in your environment,
Yeah.
with people, with your workspace, it doesn't matter where you're at, be causative. And if you are at the effect, find out from where, from who,
Mm-hmm.
and handle that situation. And it's going to be one of 2 ways to handle it. You either disconnect completely, and that means severing all lines, or you put in a handling and you write it down and you handle that situation, however that may be, depending on what it is. Just handle it, but confront it and attack it. These are the things that I've learned. Don't avoid it, don't flee, don't ignore it because it's still going to be there, right?
Right.
You have few options, and in all of my experiences, the one and only right answer has always been attack the situation, and it's always worked for me. I guess that's what I would say.
Attack the situation.
And always help.
Yeah.
Okay, always help. Anywhere you can, just help, okay? Just do it, all right?
Just help someone out.
Just help, all right?
That's
Yes,
awesome.
yes.
That's cool. I like that. So self-awareness, empathy, care, attack the situation, be a causative person,
Being, yeah.
live with purpose,
Mhm.
get clear on what you want and who you are, and things will line up.
They will. Put it out there, and it will come back,
Yeah,
right?
right.
And if you do something, that maybe you didn't mean, just tell the person about it.
Yeah,
And you're gonna feel so much better. Things will come back in a positive manner.
yeah,
But if you're doing things like that, and it's constant negative flow, negative energy, believe me, that's gonna come back to you.
yeah.
People call it karma. It's kind of the same thing, but yeah, it's kind of true.
Right.
What you put out there is what you get back.
I believe that.
And what you put into something is what you get back. So you're either 100 in or you're nothing, right?
Mm-hmm. And if you're not 100, you can't be mad when you get anything less than that.
Yeah, you can't be
You
mad,
can't.
right?
Right.
So my mom used to always say, if it's too hot in the kitchen, just, get out. You know what I mean? You're either in the kitchen, you're either in the heat,
Right.
and you're handling it, and you're making it go right, or you're not,
Right.
Yeah.
So where can we reach you? DerekPerdue.com or?
Yeah, so DerekPerdue.com,
Okay.
and it's spelled like the chicken, not the college. Everybody asks me that, so it's
Okay.
Perdue.
Got it.
And then a lot of people, they contact me through Instagram.
Okay. So we got
So
Instagram,
that's
Facebook.
Derek Perdue 8. Facebook is obviously my name, Derek
Okay.
Perdue.
Okay.
Snapchat, Twitter, I'm on all that
Cool.
now.
Nice.
So yeah,
All right.
find me anywhere and
Yeah.
let me help you.
Yeah, this guy does amazing work, not only with your body, but with your mind too. He's, as you probably already can tell, he's just very grounded in helping people and really getting people to break through to a different side of them, which is something that I'm always passionate about. So check this guy out on all of the socials. And if you ever need anything from him, shoot him an email and he'll get back to you.
Yes,
Yeah,
my pleasure.
cool.
Thank you
Thanks,
guys for having me.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.